I remember the first time I ever saw a white 1965 Ford Falcon flying up the road in front of my house. I thought to myself, what kind of car is that? To me, it looked amazing. The stance with its gleaming Krager wheels spinning around in the sun's reflection really attracted me to it. The next day, riding the school bus, I saw it coming into the school parking lot at Vashon Island High School, and I said to myself, I have to go check this car out. As I approached, I saw that it was one of my own classmates. I was a sophomore in high school at the time, and I asked him, if you ever want to sell that car, let me know. I want to be the first to know. The car was actually not in the best of shape, but I didn't care. I had to have that car. And of course, he sold it to someone else who promptly wrecked the car soon after he purchased it. Years later, I finally found another 65 Falcon without an engine. So I purchased a 289 engine to install into it, but I wound up losing my job at Tacoma Boat Shipyards when I was working as a pipe fitter there due to them declaring bankruptcy. So I wound up selling it and moving from Puyallup back to Vashon Island. After about 5 years later, I guess, I purchased a 1965 Falcon Futura in Everett, Washington for about $500 and drove it to Vashon Island. I tinkered with it for a while and then got tired of the engine never running right. So I wound up trading it for 5 cords of wood, which I only managed to get 2 of. So then 2 years later, I found out the guy I traded to was getting a divorce, and his wife said, come get this car, it's going to be crushed. Unfortunately, I was not able to get to the car in time, and they hauled it off and crushed it. And I was so bummed out that I didn't make it a priority because I really wanted that Falcon once again. So now fast forward to 2018, where I was actually looking for a 1962 to 1964 Chevy Nova online when I came across a white 1965 Ford Falcon with Krager wheels, just like the first one I had seen. And I just kind of freaked out. I had to have that car. I called the guy up. He told me that he was really having a hard time selling it through this particular company and was frustrated. He wanted $12,000 for it, and I was thinking of selling my van to help purchase it. So I kept thinking about it constantly, and then I got a pretty hefty bonus from work, and we had saved money in addition. So I talked to my wife, and she said, go for it. I then called the guy who lives in Indiana and asked him if he would take $11,000 for it because it would cost me $1,000 to ship it to Seattle for pickup. He agreed, and I picked it up with my dad in Burien. And when I hopped inside, it smelled of rat urine and exhaust. I rolled down the windows and drove it to catch a ferry to Vashon Island. I was so excited to finally have the car of my dreams. So the next few months or so, I worked out in my freezing garage, all bundled up, replacing and fixing everything I came across. I tackled both rat's nests and hornet's nests to begin with, and I gutted everything out and painted the floorboards. Over the next 7 years, I replaced the rear end, the shocks, emergency brake cable, and all of its components. I made some door panels, window washing system, broken and worn out old bench seat. I finally pulled it out and put bucket seats in for my sister's wrecked 1975 Mustang 2 Ghia. The shifter, I replaced battery, radiator hoses, radiator overflow, coil, carpet, distributor parts, hood latch, old rusty hood pin set, trunk rubber, window felts, antenna, and new tires mounted on American racing wheels. The old Krager wheels were totally worn out and dangerous. I also installed kill mat, noise reduction everywhere I could throughout the car, even inside the fender well. I then painted the interior and the gauge cluster as well. I also replaced the oil sensor, the oil pressure, water, temp, and amp cluster to a newer one under the dash. I made a new package tray out of a large piece of thick plastic from work and covered it with vinyl wrap, then installed Pioneer 9-inch speakers. In addition, I fabricated new trunk panels out of 2 other pieces of plastic, covering them with vinyl wrap as well. I then made a back seat trunk cover with a Rush logo to honor my favorite drummer and lyricist Neil Peart, who had recently died from brain cancer. I absolutely love this car, and I named her Eleanor after my granddaughter because she would always ask me if she could sit in it and pretend to drive. Anyway, what I love about this car are the lines. It's short, lightweight body, and it's all steel construction, unlike today's mostly plastics, construction. Now, the list of things I want to fix and improve are new leaf springs, new exhaust. Right now it has like 1.25 inch pipe and sounds more like a truck than a hot rod. I'd like to tint my windshield, install new body bushings, tilt steering wheel, power steering, and to paint the whole exterior a beautiful, bright, glossy white. I know I'll never get my money back if I ever were to sell the car, but I don't plan on selling her. So every dime I put into it's worth it to me. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video and that you are inspired to fix, repair, or repurpose anything that you find from the past that gives you joy. Cheers and God bless.